Gary, what was life like for you? Before you found Science of Mind, what was your mindset and the mentality? Before you learned about change your thinking, change your life, what was your thinking? Like, and was it something that felt good? Was it something that was beneficial to you? Looking back now, in hindsight, how would you assess your way of thinking before you got introduced to CSL and Science of Mind?
Okay. Well, I always had challenges with different things. I was, taught to go to school, get good grades, get a good job, and the rest just happens, right? Um, so I felt I was doing all of those things, and yet I was still struggling. My relationship with money was terrible. Um, Always, well, looking back now, it was really bad, and it's no surprise that I never kept it. I had a good life. I wasn't, living on the street or anything. And if you are, you can change that too. There's so many stories about people that are just changed everything, but I'll try to keep it personal. Uh, it was just lack. Didn't I always felt that if I spent something here, then somebody else would suffer because I was being selfish, maybe if I wanted to, but I just got to the point where it was paying my bills was okay, but it was that extra cash, just put gas in the car. Um, it's one of my story. I Tara said, I called her one time. I was stuck. I had no gas in the car, no money, right? And I called her and she said, you need to do a treatment now. Cause I'd been around for maybe 6 months or so. I understand the idea of the spiritual mind treatment. Uh, but I never really, once you get to a point, things change. You have to make a change. And I was just sick and tired of being where I was. And said, if this was an opportunity, then I really need to look at it and take it more seriously than I did. So it was a lot of lack, not enough. Um, how can I pay for that? How can we do this? How can we do that? The how, right? Uh, then I learned it's not our job to figure out how that happens. It's to figure out why we want it to happen.
Powerful.
Yeah.
So that, to me, as you're telling me this, not only could I relate very much to that same type of mindset, but my judgment of everything that you're telling me is, I'm like, man, that sounds like it's got to be painful. That sounds like you kind of lived a painful, stressful way of life. Is that accurate?
I had gotten to in my mid 40s was just that's I just had to deal with that, and that was the way it was going to be. So I had to come to some peace with that because otherwise it would have been just miserable. Um, so just accepted things around me, and I started being grateful for what I had. And it's a big practice today and what I've learned now. But I was practicing some of the philosophies and the principles before I really even knew how to put them together and make them work. Uh, I think we all do that, but there's that little person in the back saying, your brain is remembering all the pain and things, failures and mistakes, and so it goes right to that when you start thinking outside the box. So you have to learn how to control those thoughts. They're there to assist you, so you don't want to get angry at them.
Right.
Going a little off topic, but when you get some thoughts that aren't in line with who you really believe you are, I just say thank them and then give them the authority to leave and tell them they're not welcome anymore. it's a The whole Science of Mind is very simple. It's not easy to do because it takes discipline, practice, patience. Um, and most of us were kind of raised not to have those qualities. Uh,
You mean people want instant gratification?
yeah, well, and so did I. So did I. But when you're looking for things, when you're trying to do stuff, the only way, you have this idea of perfect. So you want to do everything perfect, and so you don't enjoy the trip. One of the things I've been able to do now is to set the intention and let God do the work. Let spirit, the universe, do what it's there for, and it's there to provide us everything good. So when you get into that state, it's life changes. It becomes more joyful and peaceful.
More joyful and more peaceful. That that definitely resonates with me, and that's certainly, something that I have been seeking throughout my life. Um, and I tried a lot of different avenues that I thought was going to get me there, and I thought was going to, deliver on all of that peaceful and happiness and all that good stuff. And through what I've learned here at the center, I actually learned that it was my need for all of those things that was actually causing me to be unhappy and miserable, and all of that. So it's really funny when you really get to dive into the practices and to what's taught here, for sure.
Yeah, the idea of, I'll touch on what you said, the idea of needing something always keeps it in the distance. So when you declare it as you have it now, you can allow that to be, you can attract that to you instead of working for it. So you set an intentions versus setting goals, right? A lot of times people would go to hundreds of seminars on goal setting, and I never had any luck setting goals because I wasn't disciplined enough to do them. So the result of that was set a goal, feel bad, never do it again. So what I've learned here now is to set the intention. I was, for a while, I was embarrassed almost to talk about the success that I was having, because I didn't feel, if I shared that, I didn't want someone to take it the wrong way. It took me quite a while. You actually were very instrumental in that, allowing me to share my story and feeling okay with that, and not, because it's just an example, be an example. Right? So we're not here to tell you what to do, but we can certainly guide you in the right direction to what you really know is the truth. We just forget that as we get older. We're here to enjoy life. Look at a baby, all the needs are met.
Yeah,
It's just amazing that they know, they share, they don't, the kids get together, they don't look, there's no race, there's no color, there's no um, any of that. It's just love, and that's what God is to me. It's just love.
absolutely. I completely agree with you on that. And I forgot who I was talking to recently, but I was having a conversation with somebody, and I was telling them, it's like, we learned all of that unpleasantness in life. We learned that stuff. We weren't born with it. We were born with that unconditional, love and openness and just kindness towards other people. And somewhere along the lines, we're taught something different, and we forget how to be happy. We forget how to be content. We forget how to just be in the present moment. For myself, I have had a really big challenge with learning to be okay with the present moment. And I learned that came from, a lot of childhood traumas and stuff like that. But I can certainly.
I've seen you make such an incredible change, and that's one of the pleasures of doing this or getting involved with the center, is just watching people go through this. We can't do it for you. We can watch you do it and support you, but it's an inside job.
Absolutely.
But it's something that you can do. It doesn't in no way is negative at all in your life. You're only going to experience more joy if that's when you realize and believe that's why we're here, to experience joy and love. Yes. It's just been great to see you, and so many others at the center just have incredible changes, and you're able to move on and do what they've always wanted to do without the fear and the worry that it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And to, again, not worry about so much how it's going to happen, just know that it's going to. And that it may be some of the things we're saying tonight may challenge your beliefs. It's not like I say it's ancient, wisdom. It's in all the books. If any of the self-help books, the idea of that, it does start all it's inside. It's how you think. So many books on that. Think and Grow Rich. It's not grow rich and then start thinking. It's think and grow rich, right? But there's just been so many along the way. And when I started coming and listening to Reverend Patrick, he was talking like some of the people that were teaching seminars I was going to. Um, and he had been a minister for over 35 years. I was just blown away by what I was hearing.
Absolutely. Me too. I was very, I was kind of confused because, you know, for me, when I came to the center, it was like, I've invested, you know, thousands and thousands of dollars into all sorts of different books and classes and seminars and things like this. So for me to like come to this place and make a donation was just a little mind blowing to me. And the greatest thing has been for me is that it's there, it's consistent. You know, the center has really been around for well over 10 years now, and to be able to attend on a regular Sunday morning has been profoundly life changing, to say the least.
Yeah, and we managed to do our Zoom services through the pandemic and starting to open back up, but we've been able to stay together, which has been really cool. When it first started, I had an email list and I heard something about Zoom. I had no idea that we were able to stay together. It's been great. Now expanding on Facebook, you know, we just wanted everybody to know there's a lot of people that feel like Dana and I that just don't know that that there's an opportunity and we have one here for you.